Today, we're addressing a crucial topic: common mistakes landlords make. Whether you're new to this field or have owned properties for years, this video is for you. Greetings to all the property owners out there. I'm Coach Nate, your ally in property ownership and management. If you're looking to optimize your investment, you've come to the right place. My role in managing buildings has given me a unique vantage point in understanding landlord dynamics, and I'm here to share my valuable insights with you. This is a mistake that I've seen with so many landlords, and it's a really big one. Mistake number one, not thinking of yourself as an investor. This one could really make or break you, especially when laws and regulations shift. Let me give you an example of this that I witnessed here in New York. Before 2019, things were somewhat easier for landlords in New York. Here's what it looked like for landlords who had rent-stabilized apartments in their buildings. Rent stabilization is a type of housing in New York City where the landlord is limited to how much they can increase the rent, and there are certain protections for the tenants as well. Before 2019, landlords could raise rents more freely, which was great for their income prospects. It was simpler to move properties out of rent-stabilized categories, opening up opportunities for higher rents. Landlords had more say in eviction processes and handling security deposits. Then came HSTPA. So what is HSTPA? It stands for Housing Stability and Tenant Protection Act, introduced in 2019. This law was like an earthquake in New York, making things tougher for landlords. Suddenly, there were strict caps on how much landlords could hike rents. The new rules made it tougher to move apartments out of rent-stabilized status. Landlords faced more regulations around evictions and security deposits. Why is the investor mindset crucial here? As a landlord, paying attention to potential regulatory changes can help you strategize and protect your investments. How could this damage have been lessened if you thought of yourself as an investor? That's a very important question. Diversifying investments, restructuring investments, and seeking legal and financial advice early on are some of the steps that proactive landlords could have taken. After HSTPA, things just kept getting worse and worse here in New York, because then COVID came and then you had the eviction moratorium. There were a lot of tenants that didn't pay rent. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse, especially for landlords who had rent-stabilized apartments. And I observed one landlord who had, besides his building, a portfolio of stocks, which I thought was really smart because as the real estate was really hurting, he had the stocks to fall back on. Now, to me personally, as an observer, I thought that was really smart. And that's why I made this mistake number one, because not thinking of yourself as an investor, I think is a big mistake. I had to make this one mistake number two, and I'll tell you why with a story at the end. The mistake is that when you have an opportunity to network with other landlords, not to take that opportunity. Now, I know some of you might think, why bother? But hear me out, because this can really ramp up your landlord game. First up, it's all about sharing knowledge and experiences. Imagine having a chat at a real estate association with a fellow landlord and discovering a new strategy that makes your life easier. Or maybe you share a challenge you faced and they've got the perfect solution because they've been there, done that. This kind of exchange is gold in our world. Next, let's talk resources. We all know finding a reliable contractor or a sharp attorney can be a real hassle. But when you network, you're not just building contacts, you're building a treasure trove of trusted resources. The property world is always evolving. Networking keeps you in the loop with the latest buzz, from regulatory changes to market shifts. Anyway, so I want to tell you this anecdote about networking with other landlords. When I tried to get customers for my business, I used to go to these landlord associations in the city. And the way that the format usually works is that they'll have sandwiches and some drinks, and then they'll have a guest speaker, and the guest speaker will talk about some topic that's relevant for landlords. And then at the end, there's just like you can network with people and say hello, and exchange business cards. Anyway, I was surprised to see that when I went there, most of the landlords just came for the sandwiches and just were eating the sandwiches and having drinks. Then they'd sit and listen to the speech. And then when it was done, they just run out the door. They never put any effort into meeting anybody or asking questions from other landlords, or it just seemed like such a waste to me. In the meantime, I would be trying to speak to these landlords, and they would just be such a wealth of information. It's a total waste not to take advantage of that. I would recommend that you find your local landlord association in your town or city and join. Get friendly with the organizers because they're on your side, they're advocating for you. And definitely get friendly with the other landlords and share information with them. Even if you're not good with technology or you just don't like technology, there are so many good websites out there that are so helpful. One website that I've been using for years is a website called Fiverr, which has consultants from all over the world. And some of the consultants are more generalists and some of them are more specialists. And I found it very helpful for myself when I first started, just to talk to a generalist, to give them an overview of my business and to see what kind of solutions there are to improve the technologies in the business to make the business more efficient and to be able to work better with all the people on the team. Then once you get ideas like that, you can get a specialist to help you with a particular application for installation, for configuration, to help you train everybody on the team on how to use the application. So I'll give you an example. When we first started, as ridiculous as this sounds, we had a bunch of laptops that we all worked on. And we wanted to share documents like spreadsheets or a Word file, whatever it was. We actually weren't on a network, so we take a thumb drive and save and then copy it to another laptop so that we could all look at what we were working on, which was, as you can imagine, very inefficient. Not only that, like if you wanted to work remotely, we had a hard time doing that. So I posted this problem on Fiverr. I got some solutions that I never even thought about. By the time I was done and everything was completed so rapidly, after working with a consultant, we were able to share the information easily amongst ourselves, look at the information remotely. In this digital age, not using technology to streamline your business is like trying to row a boat with your hands when you have oars right beside you. Whether it's property management software, cloud data storage, or efficient communication systems, technology can save you time and headaches. Do not let your business fall behind because you're stuck in the past. This mistake number 4 is all about how to manage your staff, and not just by winging it, but by really understanding management in general. I actually have a certification in project management, and I was really surprised to see how useful it was for managing all the projects. For example, when we had to renovate apartments, and how to manage the staff in the building, how to manage all the vendors that we worked with, and all the people that provided us services for the buildings. I'm not saying that you have to go out and get a certification in project management or be able to manage properties, but I think it's useful to read up on management and just to get an understanding of where you stand on the different theories of management. Now, the reason I thought about adding this and calling it imbalanced staff management is because this is a topic that I discuss so often with the property managers who I coach, whether you should micromanage the staff, the vendors, the service providers, the suppliers, or whether you should empower people and give them the freedom without too much supervision. I guess everybody has an opinion about it, and I'd be really interested from you guys if you could tell me, with the staff in your building, or even the vendors that come and work at your buildings, do you micromanage them, or do you empower them and give them trust? And I'm not trying to judge you one way or the other, because I think both sides have a valid argument. Balancing trust and oversight with your staff, whether it's your super, handyman, or real estate broker, is a balancing act. Too much micromanagement can lead to tension and inefficiency, but too little can mean missed details and sloppy work. You have to find that sweet spot of trust and verification. So there you have it, common pitfalls that even the best landlords can fall into. Avoiding these mistakes can lead to a smoother, more profitable property management journey. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, drop your thoughts or questions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for even more insights into property management. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, in property management, every day is a learning opportunity. Here's to your continued success.